Good morning. Hello, Wendy. Good morning, everyone. Here in Melbourne, it's morning. If you're a friend of mine joining from the United States, good evening. Good Tuesday evening to you. I'm going to give people another minute to jump on here. Hi, Jenny. I'm excited to play this morning. This is one of my thought about but not exactly planned out lives. So we're going to see what we turn up this morning. We're going to be playing with vibrant vases, and I'll show that to you in just a minute here. For those of you who haven't joined me before, I'm Nancy Hetker. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Melbourne, Australia. I moved here from the United States, where I was a demonstrator for 8 years and a stamper for over 10 years. And I am off and running, building my Stampin' Up! Business again here in Australia. And I'm happy to have people from anywhere in the world join me on my Facebook Lives, either actually live at 10 a.m. Wednesdays, Australia Eastern Time, or on replays. They will be posted here on my Nancy's Nifty Notes Facebook page, and I am working on getting them posted on YouTube also. If that's easier for you, please feel free to watch them, share them, like them, however you want to interact with me. And I love comments while I'm crafting so that I can interact with you that way too. So, hello Gladys, thanks for joining me from Michigan. Let's take a look at what we're going to play with today. This is the Vibrant Vases photopolymer stamp set. It is the second of the Vases stamp sets. The first one is Varied Vases, which was designed in consultation with Mary Fish when she reached her $1 million sales, or $1 million sales mark. Hi Shirley. Oh good, you're in Australia. Where are you from? And her personal or business logo incorporates a tulip, so she was pleased to have a tulip as part of her million sales set. And she also felt it was important to have a punch with it, which I think is great. For a while we moved away from using a bunch of punches, and sorry, my screen seems to have frozen, so I'm going to see if I can get it to catch up with me here. Up near Byron Bay, Shirley. Okay. North Coast, New South Wales. Okay. Sorry, my live feed is not being live at all. So let me see if I can refresh my screen and get it to catch up with me. Here we go. Okay. So here's a builder punch to go with both Varied Vases and Vibrant Vases, which is great. The punches make it easier, I think, for new stampers to jump in without having to invest in a die cutting machine and lots of framelits, which are pricier. So this is the Vases Builder Punch that works with both stamp sets, which is awesome. And I'm going to show you one of my favorite tricks for working with these builder punches, because you can see you can punch a lot of different images at the same time if you can get them to line up. So I'm just going to mark this piece of thick Whisper White cardstock face up so I know which way it should go, and I'm going to insert it into my punch all the way, and I'm just going to punch it and discard those punches. And then what I can do is line up the vases. Now, which ones do I want to use? I think we'll use these. So then you can put your stamps into this template of the punch, and we're going to do the outline ones first, I think. Like I said before, if you've just joined me, I have done some thinking about what I want to do with this stamp set, but not actual planning out. So you're going to get to see the creative process pretty up close and personal. So hopefully you'll like that. And what I've done is I've taken this piece of thick whisper white and inserted it into the punch to make a template for how to place the stamps. And I'm being blind, not finding the stamps to go in. Go. This is a leaf. Hello. And a tulip. Hello, Roseanne and Joyce. And hi, Mom. Always fun to have you all join me. So, I think one of the things I'm going to try to do today is also play with my Stamparatus, which I haven't done much at all here on my lives, if at all, and not as much as I always thought I would have. So yeah, let's go on this side. It's a little neater. For those of you not so familiar with the Stamparatus, it's a stamp positioning tool that does a whole bunch of neat things. It comes with a grid on the bottom. This is a magnetic sheet that I got through Stamp and Storage, but it comes with a foam mat because, as you remember from other lives, when you're stamping with photopolymer, you need the foam to add some cushion. And then you can also get grid paper that is cut to fit. So I'm going to stick these on here kind of straight, just for the heck of it. Make sure they're in there. Punched spots as best I can. And every time I move, they all move, but we're going to be good here, I think. So now I can bring my panel down, press and lift up, and aha, yes, there is a magnet to keep things in place. If I remove that, now hopefully you can see I should be able to stamp onto some cardstock and have it ready to punch out. So let's see, I'm going to try to be able to stamp a couple times maybe, and that goes in that way, so I want it to be up more this way. Magnet to hold things, and these are the outlines, so I'm just going to do them in Memento Black. Let's get all of them. And we'll see how this works. Just making sure I get it pressed on all of them, and there they are. And then give it a quick wipe so it doesn't mess anything up. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in those fill-ins, and I'm just going to lay them right on top there. Because I don't really want to move this. I want this to stay lined up. did manage to space them all nicely so that you can put them in here without them knocking each other out of the way. Always a nice thing when they make them work. And the tulip did not stamp. That's interesting. Must be just a little. I noticed that when I was inking up, it's not quite as deep as these others. But you know what? That's going to be okay. So what I'm going to do is, on the Stamparatus, the panels actually lift out. If you have them perpendicular to the frame, they lift out. So I'm just going to flip that over and then use this side to pick these up. And now the question is, what color or colors should we use? Yeah, that moved a little bit. That's why you'll often see me mark the edges of the cardstock, and I really should have done that. Just a little bit more. I have got a bunch of bright colors going here today because yesterday was a beautiful day here in Melbourne, but in general we're in gray and rain. Oh my goodness, that's getting worse and worse. Okay, one more time here and then we'll start positioning again. Hi Marilyn and Karen. Okay, so let's see if we can get a couple different colors going here. There is some Calypso Coral. If you have Stampin' Spots, this is a little bit easier to do. Or I may have to bring in markers. We'll see. Try that edge. Like I said, we're playing today. I got some ideas, but no set plan. Let's see here. I'll be right back. I'm going to grab a Stampin' Spot. If you've been doing paper pumpkins in the US, you should have a nice collection of Stampin' Spots. And if you don't have a collection of Stampin' Spots but want to use your Stamparatus a lot, you can buy them uninked, and the re-inkers are really cheap, and oh yeah, look at how much easier that is to get that ink on there. I say as I get some on the Melon Mambo vase. Okay. Oh, and on the Coastal Cabana. Well, we're just doing great. Okay. If you are careful, you can actually ink these up individually. We're going to have some fun here. Okay, let's see what we got. See if it's lined up, see if the colors are good. Moment of truth. Oh my goodness. Well, that's actually kind of neat. I don't know if you can see. It's kind of partially colored. But again, because it's all positioned with the Stamparatus, I think I can go in Let's go ahead and clean. That's the other way to do it, is to do them one at a time and clean off in between. Let me see if I can get that inked better. Get these others cleaned off. This is one reason I probably don't use my Stamparatus as often as I could, because I probably could have done about 6 of these by now if I had just inked these individually. But you know, for some people it's harder that way, so we're trying this. Nope. Okay, but I'm gonna like that. Oh, I know one of the things I wanted to show you today. You can see I've got a little bit of staining going on these. So I have this new stamp cleaning pad that's in the new annual catalog, and it's particularly good for photopolymer stamps. To get, look at that, the ink off, and look at my fingers. I managed to get them in the black. Oh my goodness. This is why I'm kind of a compulsive planner, because I like things to go well. And, you know, don't we all? So the thing to do is to rub the stamps with, look at that, you know how bad photopolymer stains with things like Melon Mambo. They're really red and pink tones. And that came right off of there. So you stamp it, you rub it with the stamp cleaning pad, and then you're supposed to clean the cleaner off the stamps with a damp cloth. So I'm using my chamois for that. That's really cool, because I've got let's see what we can do with this. This is, you can see I've got one of the varied Vases stamps that's really well stained. Let's see what happens when we try to clean that up a bit. Now, it works best when you use it right away, but let's see what happens here. I know I'm kind of jumping all over the place, but you know, it's not like I didn't clean this stamp when I used it. It's just, wow, they are notorious for staining, staining, staining. So the deal is rub it on the cleaner, rub it with, they say, a dry cloth. I'm using a dry paper towel, and then a wet cloth to clean the cleaning medium off. Look at how much better that is. That's pretty impressive, I think. I'm pleased with that. I never liked how much they stain. So considering that's probably been stained for a year or more, I'm pleased with that. Okay, so back to what we were working on. So here are my elements that I stamped on the Stamparatus. The outlines in Memento Black, Tuxedo Black, and then filled in the inside colors. And you know you can push your punch down part way, and it grips and it lets you kind of finalize where you want, and you push a little more to really hold it, and then they pop out. So 1, 2. I actually like that stamped kind of halfway. 3, I like the color variation on them that comes from them being not quite, well, is it? Yeah, they're labeled as two-step but not distinctive. So it's not the distinctive stamping per se, but it is sort of watercolory textured, which I'm liking. And then on the, you may notice on the varied vases, they have just plain outlines. They have a very solid fill-in and then a patterned fill-in. And so these are complementary because they're different styles of the same shape vases, and then different styles of flowers, which is nice. Yeah, so I haven't played too much with the idea of what I'm now going to do with these, except I thought perhaps I'd use some of this technically retired Calypso Coral and Granny Apple Green, what do they call it? Reversible ribbon. It's satiny, it's shiny. And there's some Granny Apple Green leaf. So whenever I'm creating, feel free to chime in. I'm not seeing many comments right now, but I do still see that people are on. I appreciate that. Yeah, we can do small, medium, large. We can do like so. And we can pick a sentiment. Yep, I'm just trying to play here. Okay, so that's my template. I'm going to store in one of those stamp cases. Now I'm going to try to get a stamped tulip, I think. Take things off my stamparatus since that wasn't working too well for the tulip with everything else. So there's that one. That one. We'll do an outline. It is a really good idea to go through when you get your photopolymer stamps, any of your stamps actually, to go through and just stamp them once. You know, even if you're not planning to use them for a project instantly, go ahead and stamp them because there are manufacturing defects from time to time. And you have, I think it's 90 days to swap things out. And it really helps to know that that's what we're going to use this cleaner on. To know that your stamps are working right off the bat so you can get them swapped out if you need. You know, that stamp was the one that didn't stamp when I had all the other stamps on, but it does work. It just can't be on the stamparatus with everything else, so that's fine. And now I can stick that in. And punch it out on its own. think some of the flowers I really like from one set and others from other sets, so mix and match. I like to mix and match where appropriate. Hello, Jennifer. I'm just eyeballing this. And there's the filler. For those of you just joining me, I am Nancy Hetker, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Melbourne, Australia. And today I am playing with, well, Vibrant Vases is what I said I was going to play with. And in fact, I'm playing with both companion vases sets, varied vases and vibrant vases that coordinate with this Vases Builder Punch. I'm going to do that one. What are we going to do for this one? I think I am truly playing here, so I'm just making it up as I go along. This one is out of Varied Vases. Nope, sorry, this is out of Vibrant Vases and this is out of Varied Vases. And let's see what they've got for fill for that. Yes, here we go. Really? There we go. Just needed to turn it the right way. Yes, both sets are two-step stamping. And I'm going to do this one more time. There we go. That filled in a little bit more. Which makes it fun because you can do all kinds of mix and match and max and match and mix and that with that, that with that. I'm gonna grab a marker. Oh, nope. They do have a leaf fill. Look at that. They think of everything. refill. There we go. And there it is. This one, and I know I'm not going to want the entire length of that stem because it's too long for this particular vase. So can you see I just inked up part of the stem. Then that's going to be able to come out of there. And then the tulip will sit on top there. Maybe even a little bit lower. Okay, so what am I going to do here? I am going to set these aside for the moment and take my length of ribbon and once again, my favorite little cheat is wrap it around the back and use Scotch tape or sticky tape, as they say here in Australia. See how that goes. Too high. I hope this is interesting for you guys. A bunch of people popped off, so I'm thinking maybe not. But I get it. I will try to be briefer and better planned next time. Okay, now it needs to come up a bit. Always something. Okay, I think we're in business now. Okay, these two I think I'm going to actually glue into place. And then this one, some dimensionals. Just one there, one of these minis. And likewise on the back of the tulip. go. What do we think? Does this one need a leaf? I think that just gets to be too much. I'm going to just leave it more like that. And some kind of sentiment. What do we think? You think on that for a minute. I'm going to grab a card base. Celebrate every tiny victory. Okay. Jenny voted, so here we go. Attempting to get straight. Hey. Okay, and then I thought we'd bring in Coastal Cabana card base. Oh, sorry, Roseanne. Jenny beat you to the punch. And we'll glue that on there. And there we go. Card number 1. With the vibrant vases and the varied vases. I'm just going to take a moment to let you soak that in, and I'm going to clear up a little bit of stuff here just so I can find what I need for my next idea, if you're willing to stick with me. I don't think I need any of these, so I will just set them aside. I'm going to bring my Stamparatus back in. Now each Stamparatus comes with 2 plates. I'm going to take that one off and put on this one. And you can use them either, there are 2 places where they can go. So you can actually have 4 sides going at the same time, or you can buy multiple extra plates, and it just gets to be quite the thing that you can get going, which I have done in classes, and it's been fun. One of the things that I think I want this in the top one, did recently was I purchased these Stamparatus templates from Tamara Davis, who's a demonstrator in the US, but she ships these globally, and they look complicated, I'm sure, and confusing, but what they do is let you well, I'll show you what they're going to do, because that's one of the ideas that I had for today. But they let you position your stamp so that you can then rotate your cardstock and basically stamp a wreath or stamp in the round. And she has them for all different numbers of sides, and I'm going to start today with 7 sides. And what I've done, she's got the measurements here. It's in imperial, but that's okay. And what I've done is cut a 3 1/4, 3.25 square of Whisper White cardstock. And what I'm going to do is you use a glue dot or a little bit of snail tape runner and just adhere that onto the template. I will put a link up to Tamara's Etsy store so that if you decide these are just too cool and you need to have them, you'll be able to get them easily. She's great. If you've ever seen my personalized bone folders for my team, she's the one who does those. If you've gotten one of my, some of my team members have gotten engraved acrylic blocks with their initials on them, and she's done those too. And I had team t-shirts at one point. She's my source for those. So that she does good work, and she does it affordably, and she's another Stampin' Up! Demo, so I'm happy to support her. So I think we're going to start here with, actually what I should have done is start by placing the stamp within, so you align the stamp within the colored line of the size you're using and within this shaded wedge, whichever size you're using. And I think I saw that this would fit just perfectly within that. And then we'll pick it up. And then the deal is to always make sure this is over against the right bar as much as possible and flush against the top bar. So now we'll line this up again. And because it's laminated, the adhesive won't hurt it, which is nice. There we go. And I'm going to start once again with my Memento Tuxedo Black ink. And we will stamp that once. And now we're just going to rotate it. And it's 7-sided, so we're going to rotate and stamp 7 times. Oh no! Well, it'll be what it'll be. We'll see. I told you I'm playing today. If we don't like how this one comes out, I will do, yeah, I can see this isn't going to work real well. I'm just going to go through and we'll see how, and I'll figure out. I'll probably need to do something like a 5-sided one to get it to fit on properly. Sorry, Tamara, not good advertising for you, but it's a learning thing for all of us, right? You decided I don't know what the heck I'm doing and you've left. Okay, clearly that was not the right one. So we will take that off and discard it. And I will clean things up. And we'll try again. Let's try 5 sides. let's see. This is side 2. This is side 1. Yeah. We'll see here. Okay, so that was pretty sticky before, so what I've done is I've just smushed it against my jeans to pick up a little bit of lint, so it's not quite as sticky maybe. Let's see how the 5 sides works. Really, I've got an idea. Number 1 worked. Of course, it worked on the last one too, didn't it? Oh, that's looking better. Yeah, 5. 5 is a good number for this one. Yay! So now you can hear what's usually my internal dialogue, right? As I'm crafting and going, yay, that worked. Okay, that came off better. Although perhaps I didn't want to do that. Think. Because this one has an internal one too. And I'll turn this over just for the heck of it. And look how badly that's stained. Let's see if we can clean that up a little bit. This one's been on here probably a couple of months because this set came out in the Occasions catalog this year. Not as good as if we'd done it right away, but this wasn't out. So, okay, the staining, I mean, it's stained. It doesn't transfer, so it's just purely for my aesthetic pleasure, not for any practical stamping purpose, but let's get that lined up with here. Pick it up with that. I'm using Night of Navy, and I think because of the watercolory, checkerboardy hatched pattern, it's not going to be too dark unless I throw it onto things. Oh my goodness. Ink everywhere. Well, we'll just do it the same way all the way around. How's that? And it's okay with me that it's coming out kind of blue and white and not lined up exactly perfect, because I plan to do it on a blue and white card. See, do they have... Did you see what I managed to do? I managed to drop and try to catch the ink pad and got blue everywhere. Okay. Oh, yep, there is... Yeah, that looks messy enough. I'm not going to try to fill in the leaves. We're just going to ignore the leaves. And we're going to see how we go here. I think I'm finished with that for now. And then I've cut. So the white was 3.25. Really? Oh my goodness. I had my coffee this morning. Really, I did. And I really thought I was cutting square. Okay, so we're going to leave it like that for now. And what I'm going to do, I'm bury my cutter here, is I'm going to cut this. This is a 10 centimeter square piece of Night and Navy. And I'm just lining up both corners in the cutting track and cutting a triangle. And I didn't get my card base cut, so I will be right back. So what I'm thinking is something like that. And I haven't used this in a long time, so I've decided to pull it out. So this is what I was playing with in my mind, is something like this. Anybody still watching? Um, so I'm trying to figure out I think we're going to put a sentiment down here in white embossing. So, where's my embossing buddy? If you don't have an embossing buddy and you like to emboss, this is a must-have. It's just basically like a little fabric tube. I know people who have used old baby socks and filled them with baby powder. That's essentially what this is, but you can buy one from Stampin' Up. I've had one for, this is over 10 years old and it's not even beginning to wear out. But what it does is reduces the static electricity on the paper, and if you've gotten any oils, from your fingers on the paper, it will, basically it blots them up and it doesn't let the embossing powder stick to it. That's what I'm trying to say. Yep, I think I'm going to go with this one. This is Just For You. Right there. And I'm sure you all know how to do this. If you've been to my classes, you've probably done it. You can see there's a little bit of stray powder there, but we're just going to give it a gentle flick. And I'm actually going to go heat set it over on the other side of the room, so gaze upon that loveliness. I'll be right back. Okay, so now I think it is fully melted. Yep, it's shiny and glossy. I don't have stray powder, which is a good thing. So, I'm going to figure out where to actually put it. I'm going to inset it a little bit. Powder there. So I would love some feedback from you guys. Was this too scattered today and too crazy, or do you like being in on from the rough start, or what do you prefer? Because it's only fun to do these if you're enjoying them. What do I use to heat set? I've got a heat tool from Stampin' Up. When I lived in the States, I had a heat tool from the Big Box Craft Store, which worked just fine. I could never justify buying a Stampin' Up one. when they came out with their new version, because the other one still worked fine, but when I moved here, I needed a new one, so I bought it through Stampin' Up. I like it over the big box store one because it does have two settings. This is some Terran tape I'm putting down to adhere my ribbon to, and you see it just tears, and it's a double-sided tape. It has the two heat settings, low and high, and the high is great for 99% of what I emboss. The low is good if you're embossing on vellum, because it's less likely to curl that way. Okay, now I've gotten that on there, and I'm going to trim it with my ribbon scissors. And it should stay and not unravel. There we go. And this I stuck down, but just with that little bit of fuzzed up tape, so I'm going to glue it. Yeah, I try to be honest with everybody. If you've got a source to get something like the heat tool at a big box store and you don't care about the two different heat settings, and I know in the States one of the big box or a couple of the big box stores, they have those nice 40% off coupons. I love the Stampin' Up! One, but I'm not going to tell you you have to have it if your budget is limited, and I'd much rather you spent the bigger bucks on the quality stamps and colors from Stampin' Up! Okay, so I think I like that. I think I'm going to pop it up. And so when I stuck these down, you may have noticed my thumbnail, or you didn't if it was off camera. I sort of stuck my thumbnail down in the middle of them as I was putting them down, and if you do that, the edges pop up and makes it really easy to peel them off. Now, this is supposed to be symmetrical, right? And I think it needs some kind of embellishment. So let's pull out some options. All kinds of options. We could put some little white pearls, keep our blue and white theme going. Or some rhinestones. Yeah, my first enabler, my first Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, the person I signed up under, she said she remembered when they would do heat embossing either with a hairdryer or with over a toaster. But then they made toasters have a safety feature that you couldn't toast with them unless you actually had a piece of bread in them, and yeah, there are all kinds of issues. Okay, so I think I'm down to rhinestones or pearls. Do you ladies want to weigh in? Joyce says rhinestones. Anybody else? I'm going to get my take your pick tool. Let you guys decide. All I'm hearing is rhinestones, so rhinestones it is. Yeah, I think it needs something flashier to brighten it up. So for this card, I got it in my head that I really wanted to use this Night of Navy, is it gingham ribbon? Yeah. So that's what I based all of this on. And I think we're just going to go with the little bitties. I'll just put them in all the centers. I did spend some time yesterday roaming around on Pinterest, and I can't say that I've cased anybody's card in particular, but I did get a sense of what people were doing with this set. So I think that helped me kind of fix some ideas in my mind. Roseanne. Roseanne's being slow today. She's missing all of her recommendations are coming in after I've already started on somebody else's. But you can see it's picking up the light there when I do that. I think the pearls would have been nice too, because that would have been a true white. Did I get them all? It did. Yeah. I think I like that. And I think I will pull these off. You like it when I decorate the envelopes too, I know. So here we go. Yeah, it's definitely one of those things that my mother-in-law would say, you have to set your mouth just right. There we go. What do you think? Wow, we went long today because I was discombobulated. Yeah. And you know, stuff happens, right? Okay. Cardstock is cheap. Where's my other card? Put the other one back in if I can find it. There we go. So, thanks for joining me today. If you are in Australia and would like to purchase any of these or other Stampin' Up! Products, I will put a link to my store on the comments of this or description of this video. If you do not have a current catalog and would like one, let me know that too. I'd be happy to pop one in the mail to you. And I hope you will come back and join me again next Wednesday morning in Australia, Tuesday evening in the US. I do try to put a link up for you to find your time. And then of course I always have them on replay, both here on my Facebook page, Nancy's Nifty Notes, and also on my YouTube channel, and there'll be a link to that on my Facebook page as well. And it's in my blog. I usually blog about what I've made at some point. So nancysniftynotes.com is where you find my blog. There's a sign-up sheet to be able to get my blog by email. So I try to be accessible. Feel free to message me however you can, and I will see you next time. Thanks. Bye-bye.